So what is the proper position of the left wrist at the top of the backswing? Today that's what we're going to cover. All right. So if you're somebody who's really struggled with maybe a bowed or a cupped wrist, you don't actually know what it's supposed to be. All right. Stay tuned today. We're going to cover that. We're going to help you play better golf. All right. So lately a lot of stuff has been coming out, especially because of Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, the guys who have a little bit of a bowed wrist at the top of their backswing. All right. You can play with a bowed wrist. You can play with a cupped wrist. All right. You just need to understand that the ball flight is probably going to change a little bit depending on if you have a bow or if you have a cupped wrist. All right. For me, I am going to talk to you about having a flat wrist or slightly a bowed wrist. The reason I'm going to talk about those is because a bowed or a cupped wrist is going to help you shallow out the golf club. Usually if you have a cupped wrist, you're going to come down with a little bit steeper angle. So if you have a cupped wrist at the top of your backswing, you probably shouldn't be trying to play a draw, because that's going to be extremely hard. It's going to take a lot of hands for that to happen. So if you have a cupped wrist, your ball flight is going to tend to be more of a fade. So don't fight it, just let it happen. All right, so when it comes to that bowed or the cupped wrist, for me, I'm going to say it starts in the beginning, how you grip it. Okay, so if you're somebody who grips it with a stronger grip, all right, so the knuckles are turned a little bit more clockwise, all right, you're going to see that that is a little bit more of a cupped wrist just starting off. So if you try to swing it to the top of your backswing, you're going to have to make a lot of manipulations to get it to that flat or that bowed wrist. That's going to take a lot more work, okay? It is possible for that to be successful, but what I'm going to show you, instead of having that strong grip, all right, a lot of us have been told that strong grip is really good to help us close the face down, and yes, that's true. I'm not going to say that's a lie, all right, but I'm going to say let's make it just a little bit more neutral, all right, not weaker, more neutral. So from right here, you can see that there's going to be less of a cup. It's very slight, okay? If you've played with a strong grip for a while, it's going to feel pretty awkward, all right? So that left wrist is on there. You can see maybe one, maybe two knuckles, and then you're just going to grip it with your normal grip with your right hand. Okay, simple way for you to check this is if you just extend your arms straight out. Okay, you can see my face closes down a little bit. And now I'm going to call that's a weak grip for me, but it still closes it down. All right, so I could probably make it a little bit weaker. Same thing. All right, now I've extended my arms straight out, it stays pretty neutral. Okay, so when you set up to it, this feels pretty weak to me because I've been playing with the strong grip for a while. All I have to do is if I just keep that same grip and I swing it to the top, all right, my grip, all right, makes it much easier for me to get into that flat. For me, it feels like a bowed position because, again, I've played with the cup position, so I've been one of those players who's been playing with a cup trying to hit a draw, and it doesn't work too well. I have to fight it a lot, and I'm tired of fighting it. So check that grip. All right, make sure, try to make it feel, it's going to feel pretty weak to you, all right, but then always check it. Extend those arms straight out. If the face stays square, you're in good shape. Then all you have to do, swing to the top, all right, and we got that nice flat wrist on top. Makes it a lot easier to get into impact because we know impact pretty much looks like that flat wrist. It's kind of leaning forward. We have forward shaft lean. All right, now I don't have to flip my hands. I can hit it much more consistently straight. So what is the problem with the bowed wrist or with the cupped wrist? If you're somebody who's really struggled or really tried to shallow that club out, if you get it to the top and you have a cupped position, if you pull down, all right, you can see where the club tends to go. Now if I change my grip to where it's flat, you can see where the club drops. It drops back onto the forearm where it's supposed to be at that point in time. So if the hand is cupped, you're going to tend to be a little bit straighter into impact. You're going to have more of a cut. You could tend to have a higher ball flight also. All right. So when you are working on trying to get to that position at top, try to make it as simple as possible. Make sure you check your grip first. Make sure you check it square. It feels kind of weak. It's so much easier to get it to the top when your grip is correct. All right. So next time you go to the course, try it out.